The world sways, not with the tremors of the angry earth, but with the slow, rhythmic cadence of muscle and bone on a scale that defies the sky. For the people of the walking mountain, this is the only constancy in a life of brutal uncertainty. Young Elon, sinewy and browned by a sun that has no mercy, inches his way along a dorsal ridge, his bare feet finding cracked as ancient river mud. He is a flea upon a god, and this god is named Kaya. The vast expanse of the Triassic desert shimmers, a killing floor of ochre and dross. But up here, in the shadow of Kaya's gently curving neck, there is a semblance of peace. This is the contract, the only one that matters in this prehistoric life. The clan, a small band of Homo Erectus, tends to the great sauropod, and in return the beast provides. They are Kaya's cleaners, her guardians against the small torments. Mora, her face a mask of concentrated effort, uses a sharpened tool to pry a blood-swollen parasite, the size of a man's fist, from a fold of the creature's skin. The tool itself is a marvel of their particular genius, a piece of what their distant descendants might call osteodontochoratic technology, a shard from an Allosaurus femur honed to a wicked edge. Lorne, the clan's elder, watches from their makeshift camp, a collection of hide shelters lashed to the bony scoots that jut from Kaya's spine. His eyes, deep-set and weary, miss nothing. He sees the way Kaya's immense tail scythes through a grove of cycads, knocking loose stuff, fibrous fruit that they will later collect. He hears the low, tectonic rumble of her stomach, a sound that promises she will soon seek one of the hidden springs only she can sense. These are the foundations of their survival skills. They live not on the earth, but on a moving, breathing piece of it. The change comes not with a roar, but a stillness. It is Lorne who senses it first. For 3 sun cycles, a shadow has detached itself from the horizon. It is a predator of impossible scale, a bipedal monster with a head built to splinter bone. A Giganotosaurus. It does not charge. It does not threaten. It simply follows, maintaining a deliberate distance, its movements unnervingly intelligent. The great carnivore understands. It cannot bring down the mountain, not without grievous injury, but the fleas upon its back must eventually descend. It is a siege predator, and its patience is as vast as the desert itself. The air on Kaya's back grows thin and sharp. The rhythmic swaying, once a comfort, now feels like the rocking of a cage. The clan is cut off. The ground, with its life-giving water and scattered fruit, is now a death sentence. The children are hushed, their games forgotten. The water skins, once heavy, now slap loosely against their carriers' hips. The last of the cycad fruit is rationed, each bite chewed slowly, methodically, a desperate ritual against a gnawing emptiness. The Giganotosaurus is always there. Sometimes it is a silhouette against the rising sun, other times a pair of malevolent, golden eyes glinting from a rocky outcrop in the moonlight. It is a walking doom, a patient god of hunger waiting for the small, clever apes to be driven by thirst from their fortress of flesh and bone. Every tremor of Kaya's footsteps is a reminder of their precarious existence, of the razor's edge upon which all dinosaurs and men must walk in this ancient world. The hunter's gaze is a physical weight, pressing down, promising a reckoning that can only be postponed, not avoided. The sun is a hammer. It beats down on Kaya's back, turning the cracked hide into a searing griddle. Thirst is no longer a discomfort. It is a living thing, a predator coiling in their bellies. The children's whimpers have faded into a lethargic silence that is far more terrifying. Lorne watches as Mara presses a damp piece of lichen against herd horses of beast and man is beginning to fracture. Down below, the great theropod waits, a patient monument to extinction. It knows their time is running out. It is a simple, brutal equation of prehistoric life. The walking mountain provides sanctuary, but only the despised earth provides water. It is then, in the depths of their despair, that Lorne's mind, a repository of seasons and landscapes, finds the ghost of a memory. He rises, his joints cracking a protest, and shuffles to the edge of their camp. He squints at the horizon, past the shimmering heat haze, towards a dark slash in the distant mesas. A chasm, a place of bad air and unstable rock, a place Koya instinctively avoids. But a place of shadow, a place of opportunity, his gnarled finger pointing with an authority they have never questioned. On a flattened piece of hide, he uses a charcoal stick to sketch a crude map, to parallel lines for the chasm, a large, lumbering shape for Koya, moving between them, and a smaller, faster shape following behind the hunter. Then, with a frantic energy, he draws crumbling lines from the chasm walls, showing them collapsing inwards. The plan is insane. It is a prayer to gravity, a desperate plea to the very bones of the earth. The choice is unspoken but absolute. For the trap to work, the hunter must be lured inside. It will not follow the mountain into such a tight space, not unless its focus is narrowed, its primal hunger fixed upon a more immediate, attainable prize. A sacrifice is needed. Not a death, they hope, but a risk so profound it is nearly the same thing. Lorne's eyes, filled with a terrible sorrow, fall upon Elon. The young man is their fastest, their most agile. He is the only one who might survive the descent, the lure and the chaos. Elon looks from the elder's face to Mara's, and then to the small, wilting form of her child. He sees the whole of their world in that one glance. His nod is almost imperceptible, a small, sharp motion of the head. It is the quiet altruism of ancient humans, a calculation made not for glory, but for the continuance of the whole. This is a pivotal moment in their hominid history. The great work begins. They must steer a god. Ma and others move to Kaya's massive head, using long, keeled branches to rhythmically tap against the sensitive skin behind her colossal eye, a gentle but insistent pressure guiding her left. Elon and the others work the right flank, striking the hard scoots with bone hammers, creating a discordant, irritating rhythm that pushes the creature away. It is a language of annoyance and trust, a partnership between the immense and the intelligent. Ponderously, the walking mountain begins to turn her destination, now the dark mouth of the chasm. Below, the Giganotosaurus stirs its massive head, lifting, its predator's mind sensing an anomaly, an opportunity. The trap is being set. The bait prepares to descend into the jaws of hell, and the fate of this small flicker of humanity rests upon the hope that a mountain can be made to run, and a monster can be made to follow. The entrance to the chasm is a wound in the earth, and Kaya hesitates. The air grows cool, tasting of stone and deep shadow. The clan's tapping becomes more urgent, a frantic, desperate drumming against her hide. She takes a shuddering step, then another, her colossal form scraping against the narrow walls. Dust and pebbles rain down from above. On the ground, a world away, Elon runs. His feet, hardened by a lifetime of movement, barely seem to touch the scorching sand. He is a fleeting spectre of flesh and bone, a deliberate provocation. Behind him, the Giganotosaurus follows, its earlier patience now burned away by the scent of easy prey. The theropod's massive head is low, its gait a thundering, earth-shaking pursuit. It no longer sees the mountain, it sees only the meal. High above, perched on the chasm's crumbling lip, Lorne raises his hand. This is the moment. He and the others ram the ends of their longest branches, their primitive levers, into the fissures of the cliff face. They heave against a section of rock rotten with eons of decay, a wall of soft, unstable saprolite. For a heart-stopping second, nothing happens. The stone groans, a low, guttural sound of protest. Then, with a deafening crack, a fissure spiders up the cliff. The dinosaur fight is not one of teeth and claws, but of wit against might. A cascade of stones becomes an avalanche of boulders. The sky falls. The Giganotosaurus looks up, a flicker of primitive confusion in its reptilian eye. Just as the world ends, tons of rock slam into its body with the force of a colliding moon, shattering its spine, silencing its roar in a wet, final crunch. The ground heaves. Koya bellows in pain and terror as the landslide sweeps past her, the shockwave nearly throwing the clown from her back. A house-sized boulder clips her rear leg, eliciting a sound of splintering bone that echoes through the chasm. Her massive tail, a train of powerful caudal vertebrae, whips violently, narrowly missing being crushed by the onslaught. But the chaos that entombs the hunter also claims its price. Elon, fast as he is, cannot outrun an earthquake. He is caught at the edge of the rock slide, a fleeting glimpse of his terrified face before he is swept away, erased from the world in an instant of crushing, indifferent geology. The dust settles slowly, revealing a new landscape of ruin. Silence descends, a heavy, suffocating blanket broken only by chaos, pain, wheezing breaths. The great hunter is gone, buried under a mountain of their own making. They are alive. They are safe, but victory tastes like ash. They look down from their perch on the wounded, limping giant, their living world now broken. The swaying gait that defined their lives is gone, replaced by a painful, dragging limp. The contract has been fulfilled, the threat eliminated, but the cost is etched into every pain step their host now takes, and in the empty space where Elan once stood. The prehistoric world has been held at bay, but the clan is left smaller, and their god is now mortal. The tiny band of Homo Erectus huddles together on the back of their wounded, living world, the silence below more terrifying than any roar. Their desperate act of intelligence was not a clean victory, but a bloody transaction, a trade of one life for the survival of the tribe. This moment, lost in the deep currents of prehistory, is a blueprint. It is the genesis of the human story, the story of the thinking reed refusing to break in the hurricane, of the small mammal that learned to turn the weight of the world itself into a weapon. They did not outfight the monster, they outfought it, using the very laws of physics as their spear. This is the brutal, unwritten chapter of human evolution, where courage was measured in the willingness to gamble everything on a single, calculated risk. Our cities of steel and glass are built upon the foundations of such impossible choices, made by ancestors who looked at the titans of their age and did not see gods to be worshipped, but problems to be solved. And so we must ask, is human history a story of ascent, or is it merely the long echo of a desperate bargain, struck in the shadow of giants, at the dawn of everything? For in the echoes of their struggle we hear the forging of our own. But what happens when the mountain ceases to walk?